to the Real Contrast.
I'm Kyle A.
I'm Brian K.
What do you say?
Good to see you today.
Yay!
Woo! All right. Thanks for joining us today, and have a great day.
Goodbye.
Bye. All right. So the Real Contrast. Welcome to the home front. Nope, that's not it. Okay. Start over. All right. Real Contrast. Unlocking the door to real estate insights with every episode.
That is sexy.
Boom shakalaka. That's what we're going for here is sexy, right?
You know, sometimes I just say, what the heck with real estate, Brian? Just speak in the microphone. I just want to listen to you.
Just speaking to the microphone.
Just say words.
This episode's going to be a little weird. Brought to you by Weird Kyle.
Hey, Brian K. knows the way.
Hey. All right. So anything on top of your mind today?
I don't know. I know that you got some good stuff to talk about. Final walkthroughs, shared well. What else do you got? What else do you got in that brain of yours?
Well, let's start off with the final walkthrough.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
it's your final walkthrough. Sorry, that just popped right up. I'm sorry.
I'm struggling with chords. I thought I had everything ready, and now we know.
It's
okay.
Right.
So final walkthrough. Let's start off with what is a final walkthrough?
It's like you just got sentenced to death, right? It's like your last meal.
Wow, this got dark.
Yeah.
This went from happy to sad. Now I'm crying.
So in real estate in Idaho, you have a final walkthrough that the buyer is allowed to have 3 days before closing, or you can set it up 6 days before closing. Yeah, and basically what that's for is when the sellers are moving out, they want to look over it to see if there's any damages in the house, make sure everything's as is in the RE21 or the purchase and sell. So as simple as that, I mean that's as simple as I can make it.
I like to tell people it's to make sure that the seller didn't take the kitchen cabinets.
There you go.
And I mean, it's to make sure that the house is in the same condition it was when they wrote the offer.
Yep.
Is it only for houses?
No, you can have it on land as well.
Have you ever done a final walkthrough on land?
I have not. However, well, actually, I shouldn't say that. Yes, I have.
Okay, tell me.
Yeah, just going back.
Because it's not common.
But you can, and I would advise it, especially if there's certain things there that you want. Like trees.
I think we're in the same. We're going in the same direction here.
Yeah.
So go ahead. Tell me more.
Tell you more. I really don't got anything more. Final walkthroughs are.
So no. Go back to vacant land. Why would you do like you said, to make sure that there's final things there? Why would?
Well, sometimes
is that from an experience?
Well, sometimes vacant land has certain things that are on the property, making sure things aren't getting damaged. If they said they were going to leave the shed, you're going to want the shed.
Okay.
It's still considered vacant land.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You want to make sure everything is as is, and sometimes buyers are just really excited to be with their property or with their purchase. Let's face it, I've had clients that did many walkthroughs on a house. Well, I want my dad to come over and take a look at it. I want my grandpa to come over the next day. Let's face it, that happens. So.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. That's our job, to be there to facilitate that, allow them to be happy, because this is a journey where it should be a beautiful thing, and sometimes it's not. Let's get real. Sometimes there's a lot of heartache in it, and we're in the middle of it. But a lot of times, quite a few times, it's a beautiful thing, and I like being around it myself, personally. I love it when my clients like, can we just get one more walkthrough? Can we go see it with our grandchildren, get their opinions? Absolutely, And then the next thing you know, it's like, did you bring the ladder? I'm like, nope.
Measuring tape.
Yeah, the inspector, well, yeah, that does happen. I always keep a measuring tape in the car for that.
It's part of the final walkthrough, if it's a house, if it's vacant land, if it's fill in the blank, for most people it's an imaginary process. Here's the reality of buying a house.
Right.
Okay, if you're buying it on a 30-day close with a conventional loan, maybe you walk 3 houses with your realtor or 30 houses with your realtor. It's been 2 weeks. It's been 2 months. Who
Yep.
knows? But you've been looking at houses. Maybe you wrote a couple offers. Each time you wrote an offer, you're writing an offer for spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. Oh, my gosh. And then you get the inspection report back. And I don't care which house you purchased, it has a ton of red in it. Just because that's what inspectors do. They find stuff wrong with houses, right? And so there's going to be suggestions, like maybe you should adjust the door or and so
Right.
for most purchases there's going to be a bunch because that's what inspectors do even on a new house.
And if you're not a seasoned buyer, you know dang well what when you're working with green buyers, you know exactly. They're going to see all of it anyway and they're going to go, "Oh my god, what do we do?"
Right. And so you've had all this excitement, all this emotion, ups, downs, and then it's as if someone just slams on the brakes and you're waiting for 2 weeks. And you don't remember how big the living room is. And you're up all night thinking about what the heck. And then all of a sudden you get into that house and it's, yee! And so the final walkthroughs should take, on a 2,000 square foot house, 5 minutes.
No.
No, no.
Yeah.
For what you started off saying, what a final walkthrough should
Right.
be, just to make sure that the house is in the same condition. It's
Right.
now empty.
Right.
Maybe they left a couch or so behind. But a final walkthrough on a 2,000 square foot house, you should be able to do in 5 minutes. I've videotaped them before, and I can prove it.
Right. Well, no, I get it.
And
but
you don't get out of one of those in under an hour.
Exactly. now that there's two sides of the coin there. We're here because we do this all the time. As agents, we understand what we're here and what we're looking for, but we also understand what our clients are looking for, plus what their little hearts are, yearning for, their minds and what's going through them. So that's where we accommodate that, right? It's like you could be a real estate agent and go, "Yep, this is here. All right, let's go." But that's really not the reality of it.
No. Now, here's the thing. Not everybody's the same. And so have I had the 5-minute walkthroughs?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. Have I done walkthroughs for clients? Absolutely. Have I videotaped them? Yes.
Yep.
I mean, I'd say there was a stretch of houses that I sold that my clients never did any, I mean, it's an investor. They're like, hey, make sure that they didn't put any big holes in the wall.
Right.
Right. I mean, I don't even care if they stole any of the light fixtures because I was going to replace them all anyways. It's not a big,
Right.
They can have the carpet. In fact, I'll pay them.
How many walkthroughs do you get on a holdback?
It depends on what you've negotiated. A holdback or on a rent back.
Either way, you can look at them both ways. Do holdbacks.
Well, holdback would be like if I'm holding back to do
It's
payment in the summer.
It's still a rental agreement in per se, whether there's money involved or not.
Yeah, so delayed possession or rent back. Yeah, so you have one opportunity before closing,
Yeah.
possibly two, and then you also have right before, depending on what your rental contract is, right before they walk out, or what I encourage most people to do is just wait till they're out of there.
Yeah.
Because if you show up while stuff's in the house, guess what? You're not going to see the holes in the wall. And then you're going to be really upset when you get home,
Well, hopefully that's not the case. I mean,
right.
At least with my clients, we make sure that's not happening. And when we're negotiating such thing as a holdback or a rent back, is we're coming in with the negotiation of a deposit down at title.
Yeah.
And people want their money.
Absolutely.
So it's always good. But what's the next topic?
While we're there, let me ask you this on delayed possessions. Okay, what's a delayed possession? Go ahead. You first.
You're delaying the possession to the buyers. Mm-hmm. As simple as I can make it.
Okay.
RE50.
What is a rent back?
You're delaying the possession to the buyers, except there's money involved.
Okay. So
it ends up becoming a rental contract. There's a leasee, and there's still a leasee in a delayed possession.
Yeah.
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 So it's
absolutely
right.
In those cases, do you suggest doing a security deposit?
Yes.
But I mean, the seller's living there.
Yeah, but it protects the buyer, and it also keeps the seller. It's a good negotiation strategy for the seller because there's money up front, right?
But it's my house. Of course. Why do I need to put money down?
Because
to
it's
rent
not
my
your
house?
house anymore. As soon as
Bingo.
it closes, it is no longer the seller's house, and it is the buyer's house, and they are the owners, and they are the leaseors.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was role playing there, but that's 100%. And I get those things from sellers
Absolutely.
going, well, why do I need to put a security deposit? You're not putting money up. If you were getting $100,000
Right.
and they want $5,000 for a security deposit, which, by the way, if you go rent an apartment tomorrow, they want first and last month's rent as a deposit, right?
And a deposit.
At minimum.
And a deposit.
And a deposit. So you feel,
Yeah.
instead of getting the $100,000, you're getting $95,000 today.
Right.
And then when you move out and you make sure the place is clean, you're getting the other $5,000. It's not
Right.
like you got to come up with the money right away.
No. And it's pretty simple, short and sweet, and everybody's happy.
Yep. Okay. So moving on.
Moving on.
Moving on up. Moving on up.
To the east
I think we're at 3
side.
songs now in this episode. Should we send this into American Idol?
No.
Okay.
Maybe America's Got Talent.
Okay.
Is that the same thing?
No, I honestly, one's one and one's something different.
Realtors Got Talent. How about that?
Realtors Got Talent.
How we doing on our time?
We're doing good. We got 9 minutes left here. How about we talk about know what area you want to buy in?
Ooh, why is that important, Brian?
Okay, so let's start off with your clients in from out of state.
Just perfect, fresh on my mind.
Mm-hmm. Fresh on my mind, too. That's why I'm bringing it up here. Okay. Clients in from out of state, and the first thing, if you haven't talked with these folks or you haven't talked with them for a while or they've never been to the area, the first thing that they want to do when they get into town, I got a job opportunity in Coeur d'Alene, and I'm moving from Texas.
Right.
And so we're coming up for 3 days.
Yeah.
And when we get there, we want to go see this house, and this house.
Yeah.
Not happening. Like, slamming on the brakes, not happening. You have zero idea if you want to live in those areas. Well, I want to go see. Listen, we can look at houses all day long. Okay? We're not helping you. We're not helping the sellers. We're not helping me know the area. So, a new client comes into town, and they want I don't know, what have you been selling a bunch of? Houses in town, houses out of town, investment property.
Yeah. Investment properties in town.
Okay, investment property in town. You've got someone from out of state. They want to buy an investment property in town. What do you tell them? Let's just go look at the first few houses?
Well, that's just it. So with this situation is they came in to an open house, right, in Post Falls. And it's a 1031 exchange, and they're looking for a VRBO situation. I'm like, well, this is not the right area for you. I mean, if you're looking for a VRBO situation, we need to get you closer to Sanders Beach, right? Let's get you in a nice area, especially for where there's no CCRs. You can have an ADU on it, if you want, and zoned R17. So there's a bunch of stuff to think about there.
Absolutely.
So we looked at a couple in Post Falls, and I was like, look, you got to check this out. This is what you're really looking for if you're trying to do what you're trying to do in a great area, especially up and coming area. I mean, the place is getting built out, remodeling all over the place, and first site, first buy. So it's pretty simple. So yeah, I mean, I understand that. Check in with people. They always got these ideas before they get here where they like, but it always changes up. Mm-hmm. So I like to go out with my clients and take them downtown, show them the places, grab a bite to eat. Take them, show them the lake, show them Tubbs Hill, get them thinking, and then stuff starts coming out. And they're like, well, we like to hike, and we like to do this. Well, hey, there's great hiking trails over here. There's great parks over here, and that's all going to depend. And then ultimately, do you need to be next to a hospital? Like, how far away do you want to be from a hospital? There's a lot to filter out there, and it takes a little bit of time. And everything over the phone is just that. It's over the phone. Like 4 years out, people are like, I want to see this house when I get there in 4 years. That house won't be here in 4 years. That house will not be here in 3 weeks. So let's get you close. Let's start narrowing this down. We'll keep the communication up. Let's narrow this down as you get closer, and we'll put in a tentative schedule, and we'll pick some all over the place, and then it gives them a chance to drive around and see the town and see what they like and explore. And usually it's a good 3 days, spending it out driving around looking at property. Sometimes it's 1 day. Just depends.
It does depend, and so I've represented recently a lot of people looking for, a house on 5 acres.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of that around here.
Yep.
But there's a lot of different of that.
Yeah.
Do you want it flat? Do you want it treed? Do you want to be on the reservation? Do you care about lead disclosure in your ground? I mean, there's a lot to talk about.
Talking Silver Valley.
Talking Silver Valley. So one of the things that I encourage clients to do when they get into town is, hey, I can definitely take you out and drive you all around. And we do things a little bit differently, you and I. We've talked about that. And a lot of the conversation that you're talking about in the cars, we're having during our consultation and kind of uncorking some of this.
Right.
But then I encourage, like, unless you're coming out tomorrow, let's talk a couple times. Let's talk, have questions, talk more. Because in my opinion, while you're here looking at a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, if you're not ready to buy while you're here, and nitpicking, because it's gonna take you a half hour in that house, and maybe you're outside, maybe you're there for an hour. You're gonna nitpick all this, and then you decide that you don't like that area.
Right.
You could have been driving around a lot of other areas while you're looking at that house.
But this is where I think that is the value comes in there. You get to listen to them nitpick, right? So now you're listening and you're picking up on your clients, and I guarantee you, the more that someone hones in on that, especially if you're a new agent, I think this is one of the keys. Big keys. You could have them pegged in 3 houses. 3 houses. I'm pretty good at pegging them in 3 houses.
What do you mean by pegging?
Well, listening, making a mental note of everything. Like, you didn't like that French door, so as I'm looking for stuff, you don't like the square footage, you're looking for a double, something level. Oh, wait a second, that carpet, this and that, and you're understanding their desires, and your job is to try and match that. Plain and simple. You don't want to be the agent that's sending them shit that they did not want to see, that they had, just because you filled in the blanks on the safe search, and you got a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,300 square feet, and you're just sending them all this crap, right? No, you got to be the agent who's listening to what they're asking for and be like, they really like hardwood floors. All right, boom, boom. And when you can peg them, that's what I call pegging. Sticking the cork in the hole, you're nailing it. You're hitting target.
You have a good understanding of what they're looking for.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
like you like, face it. You say you get somebody coming in from California, as I hit you. You get somebody, boom.
Ow.
As I get somebody coming, you get somebody coming in from California, right? They're, what they start out. Oh, this house is really nice, and you already know it's like these guys are more modern. These guys are more modern, and you let it whiff out a little bit, and then you finally say, look, I want to take you to this place, and whether or not kind of keep it close to their budget. You don't want to. You're not here to spend people's money. They're going to do a good enough job at that themselves, but you take them to that place, and they're like, "This is the best house we've seen so far." Yeah, because you're listening as their agent. That's you're trying to find them the house for them. It's not about. At this point, it's really not about our. It's not about our commissions. It's about our value.
Keyword there, listening.
Yeah.
And I've even told my clients up front, the first couple of houses we go into, I'm not saying a lot.
Right.
At first-time home buyers, I might help out establish what the open area is right next to the door here, or hey,
that's called a front door,
or that thing on the wall is an intercom. Your mom used to use one, I mean, I might interject more I will interject more in a first-time home buyer, but someone that's, on their 10th house, You know, they're buying houses every 3-4 years and stuff like that. If you just shut up
Yeah.
and you walk through that house and you just listen, more than anything, you just listen. Ask a couple questions too. What do you think of this flooring? What do you think of this countertop?
Yeah.
Not in a pointed way.
Right.
Don't say, "Do you think this is ugly?" Because that's skewing opinions. But
Absolutely.
what's your opinion about this space here? Do you like the open space? And like you said, when you get in those houses, that's when you hear those little kicks. That's when you hear well, this would be really great for 4th of July, or man, I can put the barbecue right here, or I sure wish this had a wood stove.
I wish this
or
entrance was a wider
things
entrance.
that you don't think of. You know, you got a million things that you can think of at a house,
Right.
but what's most important to the clients, that's when you hear it there.
Yeah. So my last two clients, I've nailed them, got them right into their exactly what they want in 3 houses.
Yep.
Well, so the 4th house. So we were in 3 houses. Listen. And by the time I'm in there, I was like, okay. And if we're going on before that, if it goes any longer than that, sometimes I feel like I'm not doing my job. But by the time, I can already tell, like, this isn't your house. I can already read your body language. This is not your house. You don't even have to tell me, so don't feel guilty about it. And that actually feels good to them.
Yeah.
When you're actually doing your job and they say, "Oh, I'm glad I don't have to say that because I don't want to be wasting your time." Well, it's not a waste of my time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm growing here.
Mm-hmm.
I
had a buyer's agent show one of my listings over the weekend, and I was talking to her on Monday. Hey, what'd you think and everything? And she said, my client spent 5 minutes in the house.
Yeah.
She goes, I knew it when we pulled onto the property. She said, this is what I saw and this is what I saw. And I had to encourage them to go into the house. Totally get it. She goes, they went back out in the car. I looked through the house. Because I don't know if you've ever done that, but have you ever had the clients just screech like in the living room? They're like, nope. And you're like, well, I'm going to look around the house. I'm here.
when we'll be pulling into a place and they're like, and I won't be in the same ride with them, right? So I'll have them on speakerphone and they'll be like, and then it's like, all right, we're not even going in. Simple as that. Like, I'm not here to waste your time. Like, great. Let's not even roll in. Like, or we'll just park outside and like this isn't your guys'. And you can just see their faces. Like, if they were excited, they'd already been hopping out the car,
Sure. Sometimes I'll
simple.
encourage them, depending on what stage we are. If we're still in those first 3, like you're kind of saying,
Right.
sometimes I'll encourage them to go in because I still want to hear their comments on the jetted tub or the tiny shower that you can't stand in. And, I want those comments so that I know when I'm looking at stuff that popcorn ceiling is a big deal or not a big deal for them.
Well, and sometimes I got to be honest with you. This is the house for them. They may not know it right now, but I've had them where it's like you're looking for this, and this. You want to turn it into a rental property. You want to live downstairs. You want to fix this up. There's a school right there. This is the really nice hub of downtown, right? This is what you want. I don't know if I want it. Well, I would suggest you go grab one of your family members or friends who knows you a little better than I do, and then walk them through again. And I kind of, come on, I really think you should look at it again. And the second time, they're like, yeah, dude, this is the one you need. And their family or friend will be like, and so I'm doing my job because I actually listen to them, right?
Listen, there's that word again.
Yep.
Well, it's been a pleasure cranking another one out with you, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Boom, shakalaka. All right. Y'all keep it real. I'm Brian K.
Kyle A.
With Real Contrast. Have a fantastic day. I'm going to keep dragging this out while Kyle walks away because we don't want blank spaces. That's